This segment of DoD TV is brought to you by PSE's Carbon Air. Experience performance.
I am Taylor Drury, and this is DoD TV, but a live version. My dad shot the biggest whitetail he's ever killed, and it's the biggest buck that's been killed with a bow in DoD history. I mean, it's really, really big.
Woo! I finally made it on DoD TV.
Your debut.
My debut.
This buck deserves a debut, okay?
What about that? The hunt for Red Bucktober, as Terry liked to call it.
The hunt is over.
The hunt is over. We had a tremendous sit this morning. Taylor and I sat on this buck for 2 days. Wade and I have sat on this buck for multiple days. All total, we sat that spot 11 different times, which I never do. I hate pounding the spot, but he had a small home range, so I felt like these south winds. I said it in one interview, I was the only hunter in all of Iowa that was happy with the warm front, because it's the south wind I needed to hunt him. We had so many trail photos of him, and then he just put on a show this morning.
He's really been putting on a show. We've had multiple encounters with him, but always at a distance. So
yeah. Yesterday, Taylor and I, the first time I saw him, you were with me, and we saw him at 300 yards on a doe. Yep. And then that was about a week ago, and then yesterday we saw him again, and he started at 300, followed a doe all the way down to 125, stopped at the creek, didn't come in.
Locked on a doe.
Locked on a doe, didn't come in to us. And then this morning, Wade and I go out. Taylor had a bunch of homework to do last night, so Wade and I go out, and we sneak in there literally as quiet as we can because it was dead still. We had does right under us, and then Wade looks over his left shoulder. It was dead calm, and we're in a blind that it fell on us, believe it or not. This is a long, long story, but we were in one of my high-rise hunters, and one of the outriggers, a bolt popped, believe it or not, about 10, 12 days ago. And Wade and I took the spill of our lives, 15 feet to the ground. And we both got a little banged up, myself a little more than Wade. My back still hurts a little bit. So we checked the camera while we're there, and we get all kinds of pictures of this guy. We're like, we got to get it back up. So Wade and I go in there, and we get the blind erected again, pulled it up with the ram. So we get it up, we keep hunting it, and Wade looks over to his left, and he goes, it's him. 125 yards. He's standing there with frost on his back. He had just stood up. He shakes his head up. We literally walked right past this deer, and for the next hour, he's standing there tending this doe. She finally stands up, and they make their way through the frosty grass, steam coming out of his nose, and I'm sitting there going, I can't even believe I'm watching this. It's literally the most unbelievable sight I've ever seen as a bow hunter. Unbelievable.
That sight is, I mean, it's once in a lifetime. It really is. And your reaction proved it. I can't wait for everyone on 13 to see the reaction, because it truly kind of, builds up how much time and effort that you guys put into these deer, and how much it means to all of us.
It is. And, obviously, one of the things that's most important to me is to sit down and always have meals where we enjoy the full circle of life, because that's why we hunt. And I can't wait to do it with this buck because he's special. I knew he was one of the biggest frame deer I'd ever seen, perhaps the biggest. And to see him coming this morning and know that I might get a shot, and then to see the doe walk by at 25 yards, I was sitting there in the blind, and I was like, you got to get back to where you were when you first started bow hunting and make sure you make this happen, because I remember when I was younger, like the blood ran quicker, the adrenaline was there, and the adrenaline was there this morning, but there's something different as you age, and I was like, get in the zone. And in my mind, I'm hearing Jim Tomey go, slow the game down, slow the game down, slow the game down, and I was trying to ignore everything else other than this chest and that shot at 25 yards, and he gave it to me, and luckily the PSE and the rage-tipped VAP arrow found its mark. Literally the biggest buck of my life. He's the biggest bow kill in Drury Outdoors history. He grossed 211 4/8 inches.
Yes.
And this was another 6, probably 5, 6. So he would have been 216, 217. He had this maybe 10 days ago or so. So unbelievable.
Unbelievable. We keep looking at him and we don't know what to say. I mean, it's truly. The fact that they can grow this on their head, and that he gave you a 25-yard shot, this caliber buck, it's amazing. It really is.
26 1/8 inches wide. I mean,
it's crazy.
You can't make it up. I mean, he's the buck of my dreams. He's the buck of a lifetime, and I'll just stop now.
Congrats.
Thank you, dear.
100% wild, 100% fair chase, coming at you live from Iowa, DOD TV.